How about now? How about now? All right, guys, both rooms now. How about now? I hope you guys can hear me in both rooms and you can see my screen. Okay. All right. Okay, so here's the spy now, guys. So you can see the transition now. So if you're a bit of a spy player, you trade the spy or some of these the cues, probably getting a look like that. So we had that downturn. Now we're getting a little turn up through the VWAP. I wish I could learn how to put the little fires beside my. I don't know how to do that. That Shady does. Okay, guys, Pack B. Let's take a look at Pack B. Ozzy, yesterday you were interested in this compare count window. Are you still in the room? And I'm wondering how are you finding it? Boy, maybe Ozzy's not in the room anymore. Yeah, like that. I just don't like to draw attention to myself. Okay, guys. ACDC, not the group. ACDC. What's happening with this one? Boy, another one right at the high of yesterday. Right at the high of yesterday, 555. Let's see if this one has some room to run. Now, look at the CZR, guys, the CZR. See how it is still blue? It is still blue. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you, William. So it is still blue, still keeping me in the trade, even though I took some off. So now this really allows me to keep in this trade. I took some off. Or I said I would take some off if it broke down under 20 a bit, and so I did that. But it's still blue. There, 100%, I'd be out of this trade completely before. Okay, now it still may not pop up, but I'm still willing to hold on to see if that remains blue and maybe gets back over 20 and still has a run. Okay, a bit of a run in it. Okay, so that's how I'm using the wave. Wow, I'm sure this pack B, I'm sure was alerted right back here around 216 here. A little too late now for me. A little too late now. Oh, I'm just kidding. Okay, guys, take it easy. Wow, I missed this one completely. I missed this one completely. This CPS from our AI guys on a short. Ooh, that's a nice one. Cooper Standard. This is an earnings play. I missed this one completely. SVV. This is a silver play, isn't it? SVV. No, it's not a silver play. Sorry. Another earnings play. Never. Savers Value Village. We have value villages in Canada, so I'm wondering if it's the same idea. You know what? This might be an interesting short. I want to take a look at it on a weekly chart. Not as interesting. Look at that, 966. Couple of 3 weeks, 966 the low. So not as interesting to me now. Keeping an eye on the Caesar guys. I want to see. In fact, instead of keeping an eye on it, well, I can keep an eye on it. Boy, another one that's a lot of comeback trades here. Look at this one, 27.50 QFIN, China stock. When I looked at China before, China was not moving. Yeah, it's not moving. So these are some of these China stocks are just trading on their own. They're not moving with the overall China market. KQS. Yeah, just too late. Just too late. 1826 next high. It's already had that nice move. Oh, okay, Kitty. Just give me a moment. There's the open. I'm not sure it ever showed up here before, but there is the open. Yeah, great move. Next high looking left. I know you're in it, Shady. I mean, it's a great trade. 824 next high looking left. All right, now CPS. This could be interesting. I mean, to me anyway. Underneath the whole number, but down to 3052, having a little bit of a pop. I'm wondering though if that will be short-lived. I'm going to put a price alert around 30.82 for CPS. It's an earnings play, and maybe take a short on that. Lots of shorts available, 500,000 at Interactive Brokers. So that's kind of my plan. See if this is been moving down a little bit choppy, a little bit choppy. Ah, that's why. For a $31 stock to only have 17 million in the float, that is an issue. Oh man, here's another one with some room, guys. ANNX, ANNX, 350, the next high looking left. Checking, not an earnings play. See if there's any news on it. I don't see any news on it today. Certainly has room. I'm sorry, it does not have room. I saw this up here, but I'm not sure what I was looking at because the next high looking left is yesterday's high at 320. Yeah, I mean, look, if it takes out 320, there is room up here. I mean, 350 on a percentage basis. I'll put a price alert around 321 and see what it looks like. It's over the VWAP, and it's a pretty big float, 100 million in the float. So I wouldn't anticipate it's going to be super volatile. I know somebody mentioned BENF a lot earlier. I'm sure it's run too much now. Oh, it's under $1. I think there's good value in this compare count window early. I mean, a lot of times we're seeing these things now. I mean, they've already made their move, but in the first half hour, I think there's good value at watching this. And as long as the stock has room to run, I mean, look at the CWH. Oh my, this is an earnings play a couple of days, well, 2 days ago, got hammered down on earnings. CWH, you know what? I've got to put a price alert just over 13, say 1307, and see if it takes that out and has a challenge into that void area. Of course, guys, the value, the advantage of putting price alerts is you don't have to stare at the chart. You don't have to have the chart up and running. Just put your price alert and move on. And if you get the trigger, you're going to see it. Remember, this is how I use my price alerts window at Trade Ideas. So this is the price alerts window. Okay, if you've never used it before, I really, really, think you should be using price alerts. Putting in areas on the chart where you think you want to see a price hit, and then you minimize the window. So you can We found out you don't even have to load it, okay? If a price alert hits, your price alert window will actually come up and run. But what you in my opinion, how to use it is to minimize it. You don't have to have it taking any screen space up, even if you've got the screen space, which I do. The reason being is that when you get an alert, let me see if I can just create one immediately. Too bad. What would have happened if I had had this minimized, okay, the window minimized, it would have popped up on my screen. I would have seen the ANNX right at the very top. I sort on the trigger time column, so I'm going to see it right at the very top. I can even put a sound alert on here in case I have a headless. If you have wireless headset and you're wandering away from your computer, you can hear the sound. You can come racing back, okay? But if you're just sitting at your computer, this will pop on your screen. Just like that, okay? So here's the I'm out of it now, but you know what? This could be another run now, MSAI, but just like that. So you don't have to you don't have to stare at your chart or anything. What I should have clicked on, I should have clicked on the alert, but there it is. You can see it right there, MSAI. And I think this still has room. I think it had on the weekly 3 something maybe. Yeah, 332, so it still has room. I might just get rid of my 15. I hardly look at it at all, and maybe just put a weekly chart here. I know. Well, but ever since we got Trade Wave, it's too late to see it on a 15. And I was using a 2-minute chart, but I found that it was I think for me personally, the 5 is a good compromise. Even the 5, you can see it, and it also on the stocks that are very, pretty volatile, a low price, more volatile, low floats, it's not it's not as easy, okay? Because you see how these bars are piercing this wave up and down, up and down. Whereas when you look at Caesar before, you weren't getting any of that, okay? See how it rode it all the way up without any piercings? And the float is 200 million. So you're getting more, what I would call it, more of a steadier move with the higher price stocks and well, with the higher float stocks. Ah, man, if this had been seen this one down here around the 750 mark right here, well, that still would have been a little too close for me. 782 is the next high looking left for UMC. There's an earnings play a couple of days ago. Okay, guys. Well, keep an eye on this one. This TGE. What's the volume like? Great volume, low float. Why? Because if you can see that if it can take out 289, look left on the daily chart. We've got a ton of room, and that is the TGE. I'm going to put a price alert at 289. Now, I don't really want to take it underneath that whole number of three, but I want to first of all see if it gets there for the TGE. It's not an earnings play. I don't know why it's moving up, but it's having a great recovery day. Got to be something going on. I see it. No, it was actually halted. It was halted and it's still halted. Okay. For TGE, it's still halted. So let me take a look though. Okay. I've got another price alert for CWH to see if it takes out 13. So let's see where it could open. TGE. Now, because this is a New York stock, a lot of times you don't see a big clue as to where it could open. So there's the halt price of 276, and there's no real clue. I see that with New York stocks a lot, not so much with NAS stocks. But anyway, we'll have to see what happens when it opens. It halted at 11:11 plus 40 seconds, so 11:16 plus 40 seconds. So about a minute from now, if it's a 5-minute halt. Come on, Caesar, take out 20 again. Okay, guys, if this is a 5-minute halt, this will open in about 10 seconds from now. Okay. Let's see what happens. I'll just put this again, blue screen, blue window you see here, nothing to do with, well, this is how. Cool breeze. This is Interactor Brokers, okay? So you can tell, but it's actually on our charts too. It'll say halted, okay? But this is Interactor Brokers. When a stock is halted, this is time and sales from Interactor Brokers. But our charts tell you when a stock is halted also. And how I know when it should open, because normally there are 5-minute halts. So I just add 5 to the halt price, which in this case was 11:11 plus 40 seconds. And you can see it opened at 11:16, 3 seconds later. All right, let's see if it takes out 3 one more time. Well, Barry, it depends. I mean, our charts go back, I think 15 years, okay? So if it's before 15, if it's if it's before 2010, okay, so that might be the issue that you're talking about, the position in the day's range. These are stocks that obviously have been trading before 2010. Do I really think, but I know what you're saying. I mean, but I don't think we go back. Well, there's 2009. That's as far back as we go. Okay. That's as far back as we go, I think, on most charts. Okay. So, I mean, is it a lifetime? Is it, I mean, does it matter what happened 15 years ago? But I understand what you're saying, but our charts only go back, I guess, 15 years. Okay. Oh, shoot, I missed it. Missed it, missed it, missed it, missed it. It went too quickly for me. Now that might be a good thing, but the TGE, it just went too quickly for me. And so, somebody might say, "Well, why don't you just put a conditional buy alert at a price?" Yeah, I could do that, but I don't have the confidence that, it's gonna stay there. It could just, on these low floaters, it could just easily drop. All right, Caesar. Boy, this is a great example of keeping in a trade a lot longer than I would have 3 months ago. Now, where's that CWH? All right, guys. Well, let's see if CWH has a run in it now. Obviously, it's got a ton of room. 1639 is the next high looking left. I was able to get some kind of where I wanted it. Dips down below 13. I'm gone. Speaking of gone, I'll be gone in about 40 minutes for my 1 hour break. And he should be taking over for me in our YouTube room in about 40 minutes from now. And I think he's going to tell me it's going to be, yeah, so it's him. So Andy will be taking over for me in our YouTube room in about 40 minutes. I'm not muted. I am not muted. I should not be muted. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. My mic is on and the mic icon is on, so I'm not muted. Now, has something happened though? Can somebody give me a heads up? I wonder if they had a little power outage again. Can you guys hear me? I probably in YouTube. I'm fine. Okay, so it's on your end via Parry. Maybe change browsers or do a refresh. Oh, long. I was going to go long. I mean, the minute, all that room it had. Not even sure I have shorts. I probably don't have shorts available for. Let me click on it here. Whoops. Probably don't even have shorts available. Well, there were shorts available. Okay. No, but my idea was to go long, but I missed it. I wanted to take it right around 302, but it just popped too quickly. I'd be out of it now. All right, now Caesar, it did get above 20 again, but it's this might be it for me in the Caesar. Okay, the CZR. I tried again to get over. Okay, tried again. It got a little bit above it, but it's sort of being rejected at the 20 mark. So our charts only go back I checked on Disney to 2009 via Perry. Okay, so it's very possible. Obviously, Disney was probably trading before 2009, but that's as far back as our charts go. So it's probably the reason why you're questioning why the position in lifetime range. Nothing I can do, nothing we can do about it, unless we expand the expanded all the way back to, I guess, whenever it really started to trade. So Cool Breeze, is this the AI version of Trade Ideas or the basic version? This is what you're seeing here is standard. Okay, the standard version. Every now and then, I'll talk about our AI, and this is what this is what our AI looks like. Generating the alerts for the day. But what you're seeing here, this is all part of the standard service. We're talking to Cool Breeze in our YouTube room. So I'm going to hold on. I'm going to try to hold on still, unless I get orange in this bar here. Now, what I really should be doing though is as we're getting a little, flattening out, then I can take a look at a 2-minute chart to see we're getting some orange, and still not on a 2-minute chart. Now, a 1-minute chart might show it, but so it's still giving me faith enough that I should hold on. No, well, it depends what you mean by alerts. Are you talking about the AI alerts? These right here, Cool Breeze? If you're talking about that, yeah, you need the premium version. But everything you're seeing here, I mean, I call these alerts too, or real time. Like these are, I don't have an alert. I don't have a real time alert scan going other than this one. But you can. But I'm sharing a lot of real time alerts. I just don't have them up and running. So it depends what you mean by AI version for alerts. If you're just talking about scans that give you real time alerts, you don't need the AI version or our premium service. But if you want to have access to this, yes, you need the premium service. No, so real time alerts, no, you don't need. This is all basically real time that you're seeing here. Now this is a race, so it's a little bit different. But if I brought up I just don't have a scan up and running right now. If let me bring one up. I know it might be a little confusing. Okay, so let me bring one up. But these are basically, this is all real time. You see this? This is all real time. Okay. All these tickers here, these are all real time, making new highs of the day, or in red, a new low of the day. This is all real time that you're seeing here. But let me bring up a typical scan. I'm just not using real time. Like this is real time right here. This is all real time right there. But this would be like a scan, okay? And now it says alert win or multi-strategy, but let me break it out. So this is our alert windows are real time. So 11:19, that was the last time anything came through this. But I mean, this is the principle of it. And this is part of the standard service. So in this particular scan, if the stock is between $1 and $100, the current volume is at least 20. Means it's got to be trading at least 20 times normal. This is time of day. 500,000 shares have traded. The volume in the last minute is at least 1,000% of normal. 5 minutes is 200%, 400% of normal, and up at least 2% from yesterday's close. I'm racing through these, but this is the idea of creating your own type of a scan with the filters. Okay, this is what I would want to see. So these are all and so everything has to be satisfied. Everything has to be satisfied. 1 in 100 and 20 and 500,000 shares and. So if all these filters are satisfied and the stock makes a new high for the day, we get a real time alert. Okay, so that's part of the standard service. Nothing to do with the AI. Does that make sense? And you can create your own scans, based on what you want to see. Or this Caesar is still teasing me, guys. Right at that 20 level. What I really should be doing is putting a price alert at the high here at 2011, and then put a price alert right about below the wave, say 1981. I have this stock thumbnailed, okay? If you're wondering, well, how am I seeing it? I have it thumbnailed on my other monitor. So everything I'm in, I have thumbnailed on my other monitor, the chart thumbnailed on my other monitor, small chart. So of course, I can pay attention. I don't have to. So in fact, I don't have it here. I do have it thumbnailed on my other monitor. And I still have the CWH. It's still hanging over 13. Love to see it move into the 1320s, but it may not. I may be taken out for a loss. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure on Finviz, it's just via pari. Our charts only go back uh, 16 years. Okay, so look at Kaba. I saw Kaba earlier too, right here, but I'm sure it's too late for me now. SNDR. These are cheap ones, guys. These are fairly cheap ones, I think. Oh no, it isn't a cheap one. Okay, SNDR. So the next high looking left is yesterday's high. 2170, 2160 or so. So there's a little bit of room, a little bit of room. Schneider. People in Toronto know the name very well. Okay, guys. So yeah, so a little bit of room. 2162. CMBM. Okay, let's take a look at that. So I think you played a bounce of it, right? So it's not going to show up here. No, could have. No, nice volume coming in. So nice pop here. It's not going to show up here, okay, in here. Reason being, it's down for the day, okay. Now you can create a compare count window, with 5 minute highs or 5 minute lows. It doesn't have to be the highs or lows of the day. Then you would catch a move like this more than likely. He was looking for an alert, though. Unusual tech, an alert, not the filter. And as you know, filters are not alerts, not real time alerts. I think he wanted the actual cross of the VWAP, getting an alert on it. And also, I think he was looking on the daily. I may be wrong. But you're okay. You are using. I think he was. I think he was looking at the daily. But you know what? If he's still around, All right, guys, 11:34. So in about 26 minutes from now, I'll be taking a break. Andy will be taking over for me in our YouTube room. All right, CWH is starting to give me a little bit of a move. Nothing major yet, but a little bit of a move. So I'm just going to bracket the couple of price alerts bracketing the current price. So I may be wrong, but thanks for that unusual tech. I think he wanted the eight or the 10 SMA on a daily chart and the VY, but I may be wrong. But if he's still around, yeah, great. Maybe you can use that. Hey guys, I'm just looking at some of my thumbnail charts. I've got 8 of them thumbnailed. I'm just looking at some of them to see if there's anything interesting happen. Boy, that shutter stock, that was, as Grumpy said, that was an awesome short that I didn't take. It says TK. It's now it's just at that 25 level. It's almost gone back to yesterday's close. I mean, it's just 65 cents above after being up here. Now, that's the 9:30 open at 29. Remember, this was up at 37 pre-market, 38.71 or so pre-market. So what a short. Nice on the MSAI. Still has that room to 3 something. Okay, well, Make a bigger move now, CWH, just because of the room it's got, guys. That's the reason, of course, I'm attracted to it. 1637. I'm not saying it's going to get there, but that's the reason. It's almost exactly like the Caesar. Really, William. Okay, Amazon 5276. Okay, that's putting your faith uh, at $52. So you got a heck of a deal on it. I'm sorry, AMRZ. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about. Oh, okay. I've never seen this one. I thought you meant Amazon. I've never seen this one. AMRZ. So what William is saying is that the CEO bought a bunch of stock, $5 million worth, and at a little bit above the current price. So a lot of faith, a lot of faith. Nobody's forcing the guy to do it, and that's why the stock popped. And you can see here's the news right there. Jan Philippe Janisch, where's this? Where's this out of? Swiss stock. Okay, bought. Well, I guess you have to go into the link, but yeah, that's a great. Well, Caesar, better do my video on this one just to highlight the use of using the trade wave. Do they all work like this? Of course not. But boy, if you can, because the question, so many of us, and I put myself in the us categories. How do you know? It's hard sometimes to maintain into a trade. Just interactor brokers, Topsy. This is my news interactor brokers. Okay. So you have less faith than the CEO, William. You know what I like about this also is that it's not the market is not helping these sort of stocks. I mean, the market was moving down. Now it's moving down again. So the market is not helping these sort of, I'll call them recovery plays, which is great. In other words, why I'm saying that is they're basically trading on their own. And that's, like an MSAI, MSAI doesn't care what the market's doing. These are the alpha stocks is trading on their own. They don't care. Okay, guys, a wee move on the CWH now. And you see it right there. Remember, these are all real-time alerts, guys. Everything you're seeing here is like an old style ticker, okay? Two competing strategies or scans, two competing scans. You see it in green, means the stock is making a high of the day. You see it in red, it's making a low of the day. And just again, what time is it now? I've got time. So again, the compare count window looks or works like this. You take two competing scans, competing. So if I look at if I check out the configure, this is what the upside is looking for, and it works in the pre-market and also post-market, and of course when the market the 9:30 open. So this is what it's looking for. Stocks. Now I have to admit I've changed my price range in the one moving down, but basically it's the same filters. And what happens is I just flip the scanner. I'll explain what I mean. So everything, I don't think I have the same price range in the other one, and I could even expand that price range if I wanted to, but that's what it's looking for. So if all these filter values are met and the stock, in this case, makes a new high of the day, or in the pre-market, a pre-market high, or post-market, a post-market high. Okay. So that's what this one is doing. And if I look at the red data, it's just sort of the reverse of it. The only difference is I up the minimum price to 50 cents instead of, or to 2 instead of 50 cents. Okay, but I flip this. Price has to be down at least 2% instead of up 2%. And of course, these are flipped. Instead of new highs and new highs, new low, new low, new low. So it's like taking two competing scans, one with the same, very similar filters moving higher versus one with the same type of filters moving lower. And that's what a compare count window can do for you. So you can do some pretty fancy things with a compare count window. For instance, maybe you've got a sector you like to follow. Maybe the energy sector, and it has enough stocks in there, and you run the ones moving higher versus the ones moving lower in the sector. You can do all sorts of interesting things with a compare count window. Cannabis play, ACB. Let's take a look at what ACB is doing. Yeah, a little pop. You see how, generally speaking, when you get an alert here, you're also going to get a volume bar. Okay. So what I mean by a volume bar, like an increase in volume. Okay. Because that's one of the filters. So my homepage, Shopsy. Okay. So if you go to my homepage link, let's see if that's still the link. Yeah. So there's my homepage link. Okay, Topsy. So you just click on my homepage link and scroll down until you see the scan section right here. View scans, and here it is. Movers to the upside versus movers to the downside. Okay, it's right there. Now understand, and just a general note: if you loaded anybody, if you're looking at my races right now and thought, well, okay, maybe I should load this race, which is large cap gainers, this race, which is another race, doesn't matter if it's large cap or not, and this one. Okay, yours starts at the time you load it, 11:49. You're not going to see all these previous tickers. And same with the race. You're not going to see a top 10 list. Okay. It'll start when you'll start your own top 10 list from when you loaded the race. And also your tickers will start. It'll probably say 50-50 at the beginning. And then it'll start. You'll start getting the tickers. I say that because people say, well, why doesn't it look like yours? And that's the reason. So I wouldn't take this one because, look at the ACB, look left, way too close. Hey guys, I've got 10 minutes left before I take my break. So if you have any questions, ask now before I take my break. I come back at 1 o'clock Eastern, but if you need something answered right now. And every time I see CWH here, it's a good thing for me. And your Sabra, SBRA. What is this one doing? This is a healthcare stock. Oh man, look at this one. I mean, it's. I wish it were a little. I wish it were over the whole number. Actually, it doesn't have as much room as I thought. Now, the good thing, I suppose, it's over the VWAP. Not the VWAP. It's over the 200-day moving average. That blue line on my daily chart. There it is. So, I mean, if you took it right now, I just have a tough time taking stocks very close to a whole number, and so I will have to wait for an 18 break. And then 1831 is the next high. So it doesn't have enough room for me if I wait for that 18 break. So why do I wait? It's just what I do. It's not. All right, guys, 11:53. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to put my announcement up here. I'm not going to go yet until I'm not going to go until Andy takes over for me in our YouTube room, but I'll just put my announcement up. And the other thing I'll do in our main room, I'll put the YouTube link in so you can, you can head over and listen to Andy. It's a good idea to go over to YouTube when I'm on my break and check out to see what the other traders are looking at. The other guys are way more swing trading into swing trading than I am. Okay, so I think it's always a good idea to get a different perspective. So I will be very close to my computer. Okay, so I'm in these. I'm still in the. I'm in these two trades. The CZR and the CWH. I'm still in both of them. Um, and I'm just going to. I'm near my computer, so I can even when I'm on my break is what I'm saying. Okay, guys, just waiting for Andy to show up. No, I know. My sound should be fine in both rooms. Just waiting for Andy to show up. Potential short showing up here, guys. Yeah, in red. All right, guys. Now look at the keep an eye on this SSTK. I mean, maybe it's found a bit of a base at 25. Okay, maybe. Let's see if this starts to curl. Now I'll be on my break, so I would not be able to take this one. But I mean, this is flattening out now, which means that the trend is starting to maybe it's getting a signal that it's going to turn. Okay, see how it's flattened out on the orange wave, and so if all of a sudden it starts to curl up, the 2782. I mean, 2782 is way far is far enough away the VWAP. So even if it gets stalled at the VWAP, that's far enough away. So I'd be keeping an eye on that just to see if it starts to curl back. Still up 3%. Boy, this is so interesting. I mean, right here at that whole number over 25. Now this could be just a pause, in its move down, but see how it's just sort of flattening out, consolidating. Warby, haven't seen this one for a while. Wonder if this is an earnings play. WRBY is not an earnings play. Boy, another one. Look at these. Of course, what happened is a couple of days ago, a lot of stocks were looking like this with these, and even yesterday, because the market was in essence down yesterday. So we're going to get a lot of looks like this. Two red candles or bars, and then on a day where the market is mean, it's not up a huge amount. I just heard a little pop. Okay, guys, I think Andy's in our YouTube room right now, so I'm going to put myself on mute in the main room. We'll see you guys in about 1 hour. And now I'm hopefully able to introduce Mr. Andy Lindloff into our YouTube room. You're there, right, Andy?
Hey, Barry. Yes, I am. How are you?
All right. All right. So, are you, what's happening with you today in terms of swinging at all? Or are you a little bit like Steve and just sort of sitting on the sidelines a bit? Or are you a little more?
Well, no, you know me. I'm always swinging, but not a bad day. I held some Amazon overnight, so that was good.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you
And
mean ahead of earnings? You took it?
I did.
Oof,
I just
you are after watching what happened to Meta yesterday.
yeah,
But okay,
well, uh, Amazon hadn't had the move that Meta has. So yeah, I think yeah, I never will like hold stuff that's had a big run into earnings, but I just felt like it had actually pulled back, and I didn't hold much, Barry, but no, yeah,
right.
nice pop up.
Well, good for
But I'm
you.
kind of
Good for you.
disappointed. Yeah, the profits were a lot more. I had some uh, Tesla that I bought in after hours around that 443 level, and anyway.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I was doing a lot better until the market decided to basically trying to give it up.
Yeah. It was a very robust open, and now, yeah, ever since about 8:15,
Yeah.
it has that little spike up briefly, but yeah, it's been basically in a downtrend.
Hmm.
So, are we going
It
for the
does.
Blue Jays tonight? Are you cheering for the Jays tonight?
Oh yeah, man. I'm cheering
Okay.
them on, man. I'm cheering them on hard.
Okay.
Yeah. You'd be proud of me, Barry.
All right. Well, it's been super exciting for us up here. So,
Oh,
this
I'm
is a Canadian
sure.
thing. It's not just Toronto, so it's very
Of course.
exciting.
Yeah. You got
Yeah.
your country you're cheering for. So yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, it's the only team in Canada, so it makes it easier. Had there been several teams, it may not be exactly the same. But anyway,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
Be
see, did
be
Montreal
well,
ever
for
win
instance,
it? Did they ever win a World
no,
Series? No.
Montreal, no. In fact, the year they probably would have won it was the year that Major League Baseball decided to go on strike and cancel half the year. They
Ah.
had a fabulous team. They were leading everything, and then they went on strike, and that was it.
Okay. That's how it works.
I think it was a conspiracy because up to that point, no Canadian team had won the World Series. That was before the Jays won. So anyway, okay. And it might have been after though. Actually, maybe they felt too many Canadian teams were winning. The Jays won 2 years in a row, so it might have
That's
been the
right, they
year
did,
after.
they did.
Might have been 95 or something. I'd have to check to see when they started
I
playing.
think Jays won 94, 95.
Mhm.
I don't know,
Anyway,
but
I'm sure the people
alright.
that who are listening are saying, "What are these guys
Yeah.
talking about?" So,
They're saying, "Go take your
okay, Andy.
break, Barry."
Okay,
Alright, have a good
we'll
one,
see you in
buddy.
a bit.
Alright,
Okay, bye.
bye-bye. Hello, traders. Welcome to the support webinar. My name is Andy, and if you have any questions, be sure to use that YouTube chat. Hey, Trey. Yeah, two FOM. Yeah, I did see where a couple of them were speaking today, so maybe they're saying something to scare the market here, but that's discouraging because I really had some stuff, working for me. But anywho, we'll see what happens here. The Qs are coming down to their 5-day as we speak, so let's take a look real quick at the Qs, and you can see they are coming down here to their 5-day moving average. See if they can hold, get a little pop. Take a look at Tesla here. You can see it just pierced its 5-day. See if it can. I may have to jump back in some, but nah. I'm gonna lay low. This stuff is just pretty nasty today. Got profits, and yeah, I'm not gonna do too much to jeopardize that. But if I see something, we'll definitely. Uh, what happened to Baba? Let's take a look. Well, I think it's just kind of gapping down. The China market's gapped down. I actually took advantage and bought some the K Web because overnight the markets were not hardly down at all, and this chart looks nothing like that. So when it broke through that level this morning in K Web, I bought a little bit. Uh, my big position is this WRD, which had really what I thought was good news, but they got yanked down this morning. But I'm not going to give up on that one. This is one I've been uh, in and I've been keeping a core position, but boy, it hasn't been easy. That's for sure. One of these days, it's going to get above this 200-day moving average, and it's going to not pull back and move forward. And when that day comes, I have no idea. But until then, you got to start scalping a little bit. But yeah, Baba just nothing. Just trading off the China. I mean, it just marries up with the K Web. If you look at the K Web chart, there was a gap down, and Baba, which is one of the strongest, actually holding up pretty well. If we take a look at it, yeah, looks very similar. Actually, looks very similar to the K Web, but uh, could be a buying opportunity. That's why I bought K Web this morning. The nice play. I wish I could have gotten more, but these things are so uh, they're so thin, especially in pre-market. I saw QFIN taking off, in pre-market. So I was able to get over there and buy a little FINV. It's both these are like both at 772. I wish I could have gotten more, but the spread got like 10 cents and I didn't want to pay up to like 85 or something like that for it, but I was able to catch it pretty quick. Uh mm, something I may be interested in if it does pull back to that level. Tried IONQ this morning, and that one and SMAR, both of them. I actually made some money on them just because these things have had a really tough time doing anything lately. But some of them were coming in my scans. Like RGTI was coming through my scans last night, and IONQ was actually coming in my scans, but just can't get anything going lately. Although I see QUBT's having a decent day. Ideas for scalping? Probably, if I were just looking to scalp, I'd stay away from small caps right now. They're just not. Take a look at IWM. You can see it can't get going like the other. Look at that. It's just under pressure. I've tried the small caps this morning, some of them, and just um, boy, just not working. They just kind of have to set up and wait. What you could do maybe is put an alert in IWM. You can always stick it above, you know, yeah, maybe not that high, but maybe if it breaks through, the 20 again, maybe you can start looking around. But right now, just boy, small caps. I was telling Steve earlier, man, the only things paying me right lately are the big caps. And for scalping, Iris always look see what's strong. ARC is strong today. What was starting to bleed off. Uh, XRPI is actually having a decent day, but it looks like it was mostly a gap up. Yeah, both of them were on the watch list. Smar looked really, really sweet there, that triple top, and that's why I bought it this morning. But you kind of get a feeling when you look over there and you watch the volume coming in, just wasn't a whole lot of volume. So I scalped half really quick and then end up getting out of the second half once it broke back through my breakout area. That's the way a lot of times I play these things. You can kind of get a feel if there's going to be any momentum to it by, well, dang, this market's just cannot get a bounce. But probably what I would do, I would focus on something like a strong stock, like Amazon, which was strong, but uh, you can always pull up your biggest gainers and maybe look for some setups in there. Iris, I would try to play stocks with volume and that are up on the day if you're looking to maybe scalp in this market because right now, we're on lows. And yeah, Amazon pulled back, but Amazon broke through. I don't like the fact that it broke through its now what you could look for Amazon to do, and I'd be all over it if it does it, because going back to its high, let's just stretch this out so everybody can see it. What you could do is find this high over here, the all-time high, put your little alert, and see if that baby can come down there, because that might be an area where the buyers would step in, because it's a breakout above all-time highs. And honestly, if it doesn't hold this, I may have to think of selling maybe half anyway. Seems like I never get those gap and goes. This had gap and go potential written all over it. After earnings, gapping to all-time highs, and I'm glad I was patient and didn't buy anymore. But if it does come down to this uh, all-time high, I would definitely be interested. And now the Qs are breaking through their price line. Now, instead of buying more Tesla, I'm thinking about maybe selling a little more. But yeah, yeah. I Yeah, Meta looks like it's potentially rolling over. I'm gonna test those lows from yesterday. Microsoft looks like it want to test that 50. Alert there in Microsoft at that 50 period moving average. Breaks that, watch out. Sorry to hear, Trader 77. Tesla had a nice run this morning, that's for sure, but giving some back now. Oh, okay. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me. These guys give them a mic and they gotta have something to talk about. Okay, Web, when you're looking at considering the open is holding up as good as anything, but it's definitely a no man's land, and it's yeah, probably shorting. You're right there. Apple's pretty much flatlining, almost exactly break even from yesterday after a nice gap up. Netflix is actually trying to get a little bounce. That wouldn't be a bad potential fade there if you're a short seller. Went right up into his 10 period moving average. Let's see. I don't think our 401k lets me short that. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans go along in that. Like people in the know in Congress. MindMed had a good move today. DQs, I'm one I'm frustrated I missed. That was on my list. Like the way that was. It's just so nasty to trade, but that was a nice move there. Market wants to go lower, huh? Yeah, I had a real nice day going too, 3 sharp. Probably gave back half of it. Starting to look like we want to possibly fill the gap now. Excuse me for a second. Just want to make sure I got some stops in. Yep, all's good. I don't have a whole lot left now. Hey, Mike C, how you doing, buddy? Maybe see what's kind of holding up during this mess. What DQ's holding up. NVA. When you say 6 p.m., are you talking Eastern time, uh, Kamal? That doesn't look bad. That's actually holding up pretty well. Let's see if you would see what price did you say? 15-minute chart. When you say 6 p.m., Kamal, Eastern time, so you're talking about after the market had closed? I didn't know TradeWave even worked in the after hours. Well, I guess it would. Where was it trading? Where was it trading at 6 p.m.? What price? Oh, see, I got to remember where they put TradeWave at now. They moved it around on me. I forgot where they put it. There it is. So 6 p.m. last night. So you want me to put on after hours? Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah, that's kind of a stroke of luck. I mean, uh, yeah, I mean, if you're trading this in after hours and you bought it, that would be nice to see that. But looks like to me they probably got maybe some news or something. This is a gold and silver miner. GDX is not really doing a whole lot today, I don't think. Let me find it. Yeah, that's kind of, yeah. It's GDX is down, 2.0. So that was just that's a stroke of luck there. I see the signal. Let me turn this thing off. Good Lord. I could have just duplicated my other chart, I guess. Yeah, come on, that's just a stroke of luck. I mean, anything you get like that in after hours, I mean, that could happen with any stock. It could have happened with Amazon. Amazon had earnings. They could have had a buy signal in after hours yesterday. And what happens if they had bad earnings and got crushed? So I don't think those earnings. I mean, the trade wave means a whole lot in after hours. To be honest with you, it's unless maybe you're scalping in after hours, scalping something that had maybe earnings like an Amazon. Well, keep track of it. If it's something that ends up you're seeing a system possibly where you can capitalize on something like that, it'd be great. Yeah, Tesla looks pretty good right now, Trader 77. I didn't sell any of my remaining because I'm not just going to punch out on stupid Fed speak. And I see my word is getting a nice little bump there. See, Amazon got a, man, is that real? Just ran up, what, $4 and came right back down? Yeah, if you see a pattern, I mean, uh, but you got to be careful with, because you are holding a position overnight. Irene was on the list today. This one's one to keep an eye on. You can see it's forming a tight little wedge right here. So maybe if it takes out that 3-day high, could be a potential good one right there. MindMed held up pretty good and still, if it gets back above this 1430, nice volume yesterday, good volume today, and really there's not a whole lot on the daily. Let's take a look at the weekly. Oh, that Futu went to all-time highs. Tiger, what is it doing? Yeah, this is one to watch. See it butted up against that with Futu breaking out there, going to all-time highs. Trying. This could have a nice run if it does get above, like the $11. There you go, Mike C. Tear them up, buddy. Yeah, those earnings, playing after earnings is always tough. Just like this is why I don't like when I don't trader. I very seldom will call out an earnings call. It's got to be really really nice because you just get a lot of the same junk, just like Amazon today. It's just trying to trade that crap. Okay, market is trying to dig in. I really want to be in Tesla. When it has the move, I think it's potentially going to have in the near future. kind of want Amazon, even though I'm in it. I kind of almost kind of wanted to come test that breakout. There's Tiger Alert right along with the food too. See how they trade together? Look at that. Almost textbook. Both alerts going off same time. Oh, if it wasn't a Friday afternoon, I'd buy that. Can you guys hear me? Testing one, two, three. Let me try plugging. Oh, you can hear me now? Okay, great, great. Oh, perfect. A swing, I really don't. I'm really not looking at any shorts right now, Iris. I maybe if the market, changes its tune, but right now we're still, it's still in a kind of a bullish market. We're above all our moving averages, so not looking to, not looking for really any swing shorts right now. I mean, I can give you some ideas. I mean, potentially the just by using a scan bounce below garbage bounce. Where is my bounce below? Why are these all? Huh, thought I had some top lists in here, but let's take a look at this bounce below short. Hey, So we'll take a look at some of these this morning. That didn't work. That's kind of what you get in a bear market. Uh, GLDD. But here's what you're looking at. You're below the 50, okay, and it's taking out the prior day's low. So something like that is nice little setup. BWL, you can see this one had a gap up and it's not really working. But this would be better uh, if you're in a bear market. These are it's just kind of tough when you're trying to go against the overall trend. There's one that this looks like it was going to break below its 50 and now it's bounced back up. So it's market's pretty strong. I would wait until like the major averages, get below like at least one of the moving averages, not so, you know, well above it. Thought I had that in a top list though. I'd rather have it in a top list. Let me see if I can find it so I can kind of gauge and put price alerts in there. Maybe a fade. Uh, Looking for a top list. Here we go. Okay, only a couple of them in there right now, but this is one where you might want to keep your eye on. Something like this. Stock has been it's below its 50 period moving average. Now, something like this you can kind of watch, put on your radar, and put, but not a whole lot in here just because of the market. This is one that if you saw this morning, probably would have been in here earlier this morning. You could have probably shorted it, but it doesn't really move a whole lot. Look at APP. Yeah, I mean, even that's actually looks like a good buy here to me. I mean, you just got to be careful. Anytime they're above all their moving averages, like here, you can also see a nice level of support. This is something I would want to at least, probably get below 600. Uh, it's just kind of a very strong daily chart. It's just kind of hanging out, looking for potential move. Oh, okay, Mighty Mouse, the mean reversion scan I've been working on. Can you get, in other words, when you say you've been working on, you're actually trying to build one, Mighty Mouse? Okay. Maybe you get some ideas of kind of the one that I've built. I mean, it's called Getting Tired. And we're going to look at the top list. And these are stocks that's had a big move. You can see the change in 20 days have to be up, over like 20%, I believe. And what it's doing is looking for stocks. Well, this one's probably not a good example. Now, it'd have been a good example back on this day right here, which it would have been in there. Nokia had a big move, and yeah, definitely getting tired. Now, we're late in the day. You could have seen these things earlier, and you possibly could have seen this Nokia back on this day right here. Nesser, you probably saw this morning, right? When it broke, uh, this 1350 level. CYH, look at that beautiful one right there. You saw this one this morning. I think you see them like when they get within a certain range. We'll take a look at the configuration here, and maybe you'll get some ideas as you work on yours. All right, so change from open has to be down on the day. So in other words, you're not looking for stocks that are up on the day. I'm sorry, change for close and change from open. Same. Okay. Price between 3 and 50. You could always change that position in previous days range. It's got to be close. I got it 3 max. So it's got to be close to yesterday's low. Okay. We want to see it, taking out yesterday's low. Change in 20 day has to be up at least 20% over the last uh, 10 days. And I want the change in 5 days at 0. In other words, I don't want to see something that has fallen off and chasing, after it's been low. So it's pretty simple uh, configuration there. It's not too complicated, but it will point out some nice ones like this one right here. You would have seen it once it got to, let's say, around 412, something like that. So looks like this one can go all the way down here to the uh, where would I enter the target on which one? The one I was just showing you. This one right here, if I was trading this and swing trading a short, I would probably be looking for this 10 period moving average. So basically, another 15 cents or something like that, as maybe to not to get out of all of it, but maybe to pound out a half of it. If I'm shorting something like this, I mean, potentially, it could come all the way back down to 3 or 315 or something. But uh, it's all about the entry. And when you get a good entry, that gives you a lot of staying power. So basically, what I would do, something like this, it is still, if you look, it's still overall, it's an uptrend. Okay. So you want to keep the tights, the stops really tight on something like this. But that's a nice break of a 3-day low there. And, could have some staying power. Socks, semis may be getting a little bit tired. This one you would have seen, right there. HYMC. That would have been a nice one right there, breaking that uh, yesterday's low. Anyway, I'll share this one if you want to take a look at it. Take a look at the configuration. Oh, I didn't want to pull it up. I wanted to share it. There you go. Yeah, see, Google. Yeah, definitely may be worth a shot there. I see what you're saying. Can always put a alert in there too if it does fill the gap, which a lot of times it will. Amazon slopping, Tesla slopping. Yeah, just not a whole lot of opportunity. Looks like maybe I'm going to bleed all the way down and fill the gap. Yeah, take a look at that getting tired to kind of give you an idea of where you want to. You mentioned where do you configure the settings? Because you want it, you don't want it in no man's land. In other words, you don't want to try to be picking tops. But when they get tired like that after a big move and they start taking out the prior day's low, that could be a good entry. I typically like to catch them a little bit early. If when I was day trading, I used to use that, and catch a good one every now and then. Whatever happened to that tiger? I put another alert in there. And just kind of hanging out. Yeah, yeah, they could be quick in and out. You can get a sudden plunge out of those. You really can. And what I like about it, it's your risk is pretty easily defined, right? Because it's definitely in an uptrend. It's had a huge move, and your strategy is people that are long the stock. A lot of those will have stops around those area when it takes out the prior day's low. So if you can get in those early, a lot of times you can catch a good quick move as the longs are bailing. And the same thing could be said about about stocks that have been beaten up. I'm like this ons, it's I was trying it earlier and I got out pretty quickly, but it just, yeah, if this thing can get like a been way oversold and get a bar reversal, you can catch a pretty quick move out of it. But man, I tell you, these things, the quants, they've just had a hard time lately. I haven't been trying them. I did try some smart today and some IO and Q, but quickly got out because they just don't have it in them. Mara, I like to trade. That's one of those stocks I trade well. Uh, yeah, I mean, I see what you're looking at. It's just I could see somebody, potentially maybe wanting to take a swing off the 50 there, but man, it's got to at least get a back above it. I would rather, this is one I would rather probably put alert in, just bring down this alert and maybe look for a reversal off that 50. So, in other words, nothing happens today, and then maybe you get a nice little gap in Bitcoin and you're able to catch a reversal off that. Right now, it's just a crap shot. I mean, it's just nothing going on. The trend is down. It's actually below the 50. So that's one I'd probably want to see a reversal in. Great Scott. Let's see what UNH. Yeah, a lot of people were a lot of talking heads were talking about how they caught the bottom in this. Yeah, talking heads on Twitter, I should say, that like to pound their chest. But yeah, it's definitely now looking like it's bleeding below its 50. Looking, put alert right there. See if it can hold at 333 level. Keep an eye on this Pega. They had earnings and pulled back and holding this 50. This was actually the top pick in the eye today, but it did not trigger. But yeah, keep an eye on that one. because that one's setting up for a potential, move, nice little move after really good earnings. And it is kind of kind of like Mike C was talking about, Google is holding on. It, it may want to fill that gap depending on what the market does, but do like the way this one is holding up. Well, darn, this market. I have to get out some of this word. XLP, yeah, looks like it's gonna put it in like a little doji. Keep an eye on XLF. I always like to keep an eye on XLF just because you never know when those financials a shoe can drop on those things. Seeing like Jeffrey's on, haven't looked at it lately, hadn't been doing a whole lot. But not really interested in doing a whole lot to the long side right now. Let's take a look at some of the strong sector over here, which is ARC. TWLO off of earnings, having a good one. These things are just something, these are just impossible to trade. Roku off of earnings. Even Hood's starting to bleed off here. Well, darn, market wants to go to lows. It just touched them. That's starting to look a good short. Although it is above the 50, but it's got a level there it's trying to hold on to. Yeah. Well, I'm sure a lot of people, this is, got burnt today in the market. I mean, it's an easy market to look like we're about to horseshoes to all-time highs, and then I guess the Fed governor got a hold of some mics, and we can still recover, but when the air gets thin up here at all-time highs, boy, the liquidity really drives up. In other words, you don't have people bidding like you do in a market that is kind of in the middle of its strong trend. This one is a lot of people get itchy fingers taking those profits, which I may have to take some more of this stupid Tesla off. That's discouraging. What about INSM? Yeah, after earnings yesterday, I don't know which when you asked me oh, you said what about a short? That's a tough one. Yeah, because the buyers can come at any minute. This is an incredibly strong day yesterday. So, uh, a lot of times they will retrace sometimes, maybe half the move. It can almost be like, well, not like shorting Amazon because Amazon was today's. I mean, it could definitely, give some up along. Look at the market. It may just trade with the market, but you get a bounce in the market. There's a really good chance this one's going to, bounce with it because of the strength it had yesterday. Buyers will probably come back in. Yeah, yeah. If you have a short leash and you want to, fade a stock that's strong, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially when the market, is coming in like it is, like it wants to fill the gap.
You like that?
I like that.
A would-be drummer. No Steve though. I guess Steve's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Steve's pretty good drum with the drums. I think Chris
Hmm.
is too.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I did not know that.
McKay,
Well, let's cheer
McKay.
Chris on. I think he is running the marathon on Sunday.
When I was talking about McKay, but
Oh, McKay. Oh, I see.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. He is.
we can still cheer Chris Varley on. I think he's running the marathon
Hmm.
on Sunday. So yeah, and he will be in on Monday. He won't be able to walk, but I'm sure. But that's
Oh
a feat,
man,
I don't know if
I
you've
couldn't
ever
imagine.
even
Yeah,
thought
there's no
about
way I
trying
could.
that.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever even tried or to think about running a
No,
marathon, but yeah, yeah. What a
no. I've I used to do, like jog, about 3 to 5 miles, pretty, 3 or 4 times a week. I mean, but never a big runner like that. Yeah, where you just,
yeah.
and plus, at our age, we got to be careful with those knees, man. I just do
Oh,
weights
no
now. Yeah,
kidding.
I
I'm
just go to
sure.
the weight room now.
If you're like me, sitting down and you stand up, and those knees are a little achy.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not forever. I mean, once you start walking, and then you don't feel anything. But yeah, the little, it's just you need a stretch. But anyway, I don't think people are that interested in our knees. But Andy, thank you again for
Hey,
taking
you're
over for
welcome,
me.
man. You're welcome,
And
Barry. You have a great weekend and go Jays and
yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Go.
You're welcome, Mike C. Uh,
Okay.
all right, bye everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, Barry.
Bye, Andy. I'll just take over from you. There you go. Okay, back in YouTube in terms of my screen. Back talking. Okay, just give me one moment, guys, as I get my music going. Music is going. Okay, unusual tech. I'll get to your question in a second. So just give you an update on what I've done, guys. So I'm out of the Caesar. Okay, it was a nice trade. The CZR took out 20 for the about the third time. Out of the CWH, it was okay. I actually took well. I'm in this one. I was just going to say I'm in this SNDR. Where did I see it? Right here. Right here. Don't earlier. So I'm in this SNDR again because it had room. I'm glad to see it had a little pop. And I am in the BWIN, but I'm getting set to maybe get out of it. I saw it here also, the BWIN. Let me just bring it up. Yeah, okay. I think I will hold on. I will hold on. It's a little bit below where I got in, but I will hold on. Okay, unusual. Well, I live in Canada too. So what add-on do you have in order to work with TI? I'm having some hit. So there's no add-on. Are you talking about the external linking tool? There's no real add-on, if that's what you're talking about, though. You just click on tools and then external linking, and then follow the instructions. And notice I am linked to Interactive Brokers. Linking meaning that when what subscription? Um, hmm, I don't know. I should. I haven't looked at my. I haven't looked at it for 9 years. I know I mention this every now and then. Whatever I took 9 years ago is what I've got. I don't even know how to see what I've got. I've got access to this time and sales, okay, and real time data. But other than that, I whatever I'm paying, it's super cheap. If I'm paying anything, it's possible that the number of trades I do every month, I may get it for free. But whatever they're charging me, it's a no brainer. So I couldn't tell you what add on, but you obviously need a real time data. For subscriptions, I don't know what they are. I mean, all I've got this is my time and sales. I would want to have that and real time data. Okay, on real time data. So I don't know which subscriptions you need to get this and real time data. Yeah, sorry, I don't even know where I would look. I'm sure that must be somewhere on an account management page, but which I have not looked at for 9 years. Whatever I chose 9 years ago is what I've got now. Apple Short by Shady. Take a look at Apple. Zero issues. TI talking with IB. It's probably the best link we've got going. Once you establish the link, the best link. Well, I shouldn't say. I mean, I don't know the other, but I know you don't have to go through hoops like you do with I think with Swim and Schwab and all that. It's once you establish the link, I've never had an issue. Remember, I'm not talking about Brokerage Plus, okay? But even Brokerage Plus, I'm just talking about establishing the link using our tools and then the external linking tool, okay, or option. And this link here, gold. Yeah, that I don't know about. I don't use trailing stops at all, so I don't know about that and trade ideas. Now you're talking about using Brokerage Plus then? Oh, I see. Well, I don't use Brokerage Plus. So that how many trades are you, well, first of all, any reason why you're using Brokerage Plus? I mean, you can use it if you want. I just don't use it. I find it now I find it easy enough just to trade from within Interactive Brokers. But then again, Brokerage Plus was not available 9 years ago. And so, but I'm just so accustomed to trading from within Interactive Brokers. So I would never switch. I don't, I personally just would not find like a big advantage to using Brokerage Plus. So that's not to dissuade you from doing it, but I just every trade I do is through Interactive Brokers. Yeah, remember now, you use the external linking tool, tools, external linking. See, I've got my link with nothing to do with Brokerage Plus. This is just establishing a link. And so when I click on a symbol, any symbol anywhere, it loads into my order entry, and that's where I trade it. Okay. Yeah, it's really simple to establish the link. And it's such it's a link that, in my opinion, never fails. I can't remember the last time the link actually failed. Now, sometimes it's my computer, if I have a problem with my computer, but the actual link itself, I remember the last time. But even if it failed, it takes like 10 seconds to establish it again. So the market, man, oh man, after a nice open, guys, this is back at 820. This is probably the high. We've had a sell off. We're basically flat now. Our SPY's up only 31 cents, basically flat. This is the one I made a mistake on early in the day, AQMS on a short. I accidentally went long. And then when I thought I was covering my long or getting out of it, I added to my long. Or was that the other one? I think there was another one I did. I made a mistake on this one though also. Didn't kill me. I mean, I noticed, luckily I noticed it really right off the bat. All right, guys, it's 1:10. So one last look this week at my homepage and all the information you can find on it. Just kind of cruising into the close here for me about 2 o'clock. So clicking on my homepage link, you'll see at the very top a way in which you can take out a subscription to Trade Ideas. So you'll get 25% off the first month only or the entire year of a subscription, and it doesn't matter which product you choose, either standard or premium. Okay. All I ask, please use my code. The company tracks the promo codes, and if they see enough people using my code, they don't mind keeping the rooms rooms, as in YouTube, and this one free. Okay. For those of you in YouTube, because I will be taking off, maybe around 2 o'clock or so. Always stay later if there are questions. If you want to come into the main room, this is how you do it. Because when I leave, I do have to shut down YouTube. But I don't know if William is going to keep the room open after I leave. Probably, I'm going to say maybe 3:30, but that's up to him. So all I'm saying is that those of you, 3:30, thank you, William. All I'm saying for those of you on YouTube, if you still want to talk trading with other traders, you can come into this room here after, before I shut down your room. Keep it simple. Get the trade of the week. You can sign up for the trade of the week right here. You'll get it before the market opens every Monday morning. It's free. If you sign up for it and you don't think you're getting it, please check your spam folder. And if you have Gmail, check your promotions folder, okay? And up here, you've clicked on my homepage link, education section, click on the more info. And first thing to do, if you do take out a subscription, you must, okay, Gerardo, I'll answer your question in a second. Well, first I guess you got to close it. Getting started with trade ideas is what you must do if you start off with trade ideas. 12 short videos to get you started. If you don't have trade ideas, I would start off with the second video and proceed to the end. I would think that should give you an idea about whether or not it's something you might want to try. Something as in our program. Okay? You can always try this for a month. If you don't like it, just tell us. And we'll unsubscribe you. Okay. Back to basics. If you are new to trading, this is for you. If you are new to trading, 15 short. No, actually, they're not short videos. These are the short ones, but 15 videos and designed for people who are new to trading. Okay. Last, if you're looking for my scans and you've clicked on my homepage link, scroll down and here they are. So what you see here, you can find. No, IB has got nothing to do with Brokers Plus. Okay. IB is the trading platform. Brokerage Plus that we've got. It's a way in which you can trade from within trade ideas as long as you're using either Interactive Brokers, E-Trade, or Alpaca. So it's got nothing really in the IB is completely separate. So you don't need to use Brokers Plus in order to use IB. Totally independent. Does that make sense? I may have explained it in a more confusing fashion. Just let me know. I guess what I'm really trying to say is you don't need to use Brokerage Plus in order to trade to trade. Okay, you don't need to use it. I mean, some like it. That's fine. I just don't need to use it, and I use tools, external linking, and I link to my interactive brokerage platform. Linking only, it just means when I click on a symbol, it loads into my interactive brokerage platform, and from there I trade. Okay, so so your question is no, it is not the same. So here is what I'm sharing right now, guys. Okay, so everything that you see here, the biggest gainers from the start of the race is here. Large cap gainers start of the race is here. The movers to the upside versus movers to the downside is right here, and I'm loving it. And halts resumes is down here. This is what I use in the pre-market. The pre-market act is up and the pre-market act is down. That's what I use in the pre-market. I do have 3 other scans that I'm sharing. I'm not using them, but you can take a look at them if you want. A momentum scan, a gap scan, and then the Pepe combo scan. Okay, but I'm not using them. Doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that I've really pared down the number of screens that I look at. Okay, guys, I'm out of everything now. Okay, the SNDR, the DWIN, I took a loss on it, and I don't know if I want to do anything more today. 116 would have to be something here. I did see space right here. Yeah, pop over 4. No, I'd rather trade the slightly more expensive ones. Just finding it, I don't want to say easier, but less, there's obviously just a little less volatile, depending on the float, of course. I saw one earlier, the Vera, though, man. So here's Kura. Yeah, it's a little late now for me, but I mean, this is what I'm looking for. These stocks that are just without a lot of like not a ton of volatility. I've never used this. We do have a filter. Never used it. Volatile. Never used it because there's a way in which you can limit the volatility. Never used it. Anybody in the room using? Have you ever used the volatility filter to limit? 'Cause I don't want to limit it so much that I don't see anything. I want a little volatility. Of course, I guess that's how you can use the percentage. But too bad. I wish this iridium. I wish the next high was up here at around 20 instead of here at 19. What's the SPY volume like today? So yesterday the volume was 76 million. We're at 39, and we're definitely way more than halfway through. So definitely the volume looks like it's going to tail off. Would be just normal Friday type volume, but and the market just went negative. Well, the SPY did after a big move up in the pre-market, and it's given it all up. PAA. This is a pipeline play. Well, looking at the SPY, take a look. Let's take a look to see where there could be some support for the SPY. So it's broken down through yesterday's low, of course. Next area is right here, 675. I'll put a price alert there. That would be a $4. That'd be a $4 drop from there, from where it is now. That'd be quite the range then. Up 7, down 4, 11 range. Yeah, not getting too much green through here, guys. Not getting very much green at all, obviously, right now. But that's kind of the neat thing about it. Well, here we go. So let's take a look. This is bucking the trend, okay? CURR is bucking the trend. And there you go. Singaporean stock. What a this was $1.65 4 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. So this doesn't care what the market's doing right now. Yeah, when I used to use this compare count window a lot more years and years ago, that's what I would kind of wait for. The market, especially if the market's in a solid direction one way or the other, and you get an opposite color to what the market is doing, and you click on it and say, well, like this is really. Here's another one, APVO. Let's see what it's doing. Other one is volume coming in. You can see the volume coming in. No, I wouldn't take it because looking left. But what if the next high had been up here, 272? Yeah, actually, LX has been a pretty good one for my AI. 466 was the entry. All right, guys, I'm just looking. Here's BTG. This is what do they do? Yeah, gold play, obviously. BT Gold. Okay, gold play. Oscar. Boy, this is a great trader every single day. It seems. It's got good range. Problem is, the next low looking left is too close for me anyway. What's having a little pop, guys, is DJXX. DGXX. Volume coming in. Some volume coming in. It's taking out the high, or it's right at the highs of 3 and 4 days ago. Right at those highs. Yeah, according to this, it's an all-time high. Well, just got over six, guys. Look at the volume that is coming in on the five. Biggest volume bar of well, maybe not of the day, but certainly in the last several hours. The MSAI is trying to hold two. Maybe it'll have a late day run. Trying to hold two over the VWAP. See if that orange curls and turns blue again. Another one, FTRE looks interesting, except looking left. The next high is too close for me anyway. Whoa, SSTK. Last time I looked, it was still a little bit over 25, but now, is it gone negative? It's gone negative. Look at that. What a move. This was about $38 in the pre-market, I think, 20, and now it's at 24. Basically gone flat. Basically at yesterday's close, right there. Again, this doesn't tell the whole story. 29 down to 24 because in the pre-market it was up, I think, at 38. $37.75 or so right here. Ooh, room maybe. Yeah, room, guys, room. So Kodiak, the next low looking left is just around 17. So this is at 1821 right now. Interesting. Has earnings coming up in a couple of weeks, so it's not an earnings play at all. Talking about the KOD. Hey guys, MSAI is trying to come off that 2 level. I don't think it got below 2, not in the last hour or so, or 2 hours. So I guess this guy is talking, or he did talk, right? Hammock. Stablecoins are exciting technology. Time will tell for its use cases. Banking system is broadly okay. One of the Fed governors who talked today. Fed presidents, excuse me, not governor, presidents. Give me a moment, guys. Okay, starting to get some green through here. Toon, Toon. What is this one doing? It's a real cheap one, under a dollar. Well, I mean, the high of a few days ago was around 83 cents, but another high is 89. So depends what you're looking for. TGE is trying to do sort of the same thing as MSAI, holding on to. Oh, okay, guys, did we lose my screen? Did we lose my screen? Reason I ask? No, I don't use the spread filter. And I'll explain why. Error. Did we lose my screen, guys? Or did we lose? Can you guys hear me? Because I'm getting a message about media server. Okay, so you guys can't hear me, I'm assuming. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? Presentation died, but how about the audio? Yeah. All right, guys, I've started again. Yeah, my wife is working from home, so that's the voices you hear in the background a little bit. Okay, so how about the screen sharing? Screen sharing should be back on. Okay. Okay, thank you. Now, I don't no, I don't use the spread filter. The reason I don't use the spread filter is that it would be wonderful if we could use the spread filter, but have it say something like, "Give us the average spread over the last, even hour." Okay, make sure the average spread would say no more than 5 cents or something like that. But it's not. So if you use the spread filter, you could get it, and let's say you limited it to 5 cents. Yeah, at the time, and you get an alert at the time of the alert, it could be it will be 5 cents, but a second later it could be 20 cents. Okay, so I just don't use it. If that makes sense. If there was a way in which we could say, okay, the average spread filter over even the last hour was say 5 cents, then it would be a lot more valuable, in my opinion. I should get back into this one. This BWIN. Remember, the reason I took it in the first place was 2290 is the next high, so we had a lot of room. But I think I'm just going to, unless I get something that I don't know, hits me over the head saying you've got to take this. You're just talking about MNOV, Obi. Yeah, I'm just, I know, I'm sort of I'm sort of getting away from these cheap ones. Nothing wrong with them, you get on the right side, of course. They're awesome. Look at LX now. So this is an AI alert, but boy, it's been actually got, well, that's the weekly. So the market had a brief 15-minute run, and now that bar has taken it all out. This is a way in which you could have bought AAPD and participated in a drop of Apple. AAPD, plenty of volume, 2.4 million. It's a one timer. So Apple moves down 1%. This will move up 1%. Just not enough room. And I wish I'd seen it up here, of course. And I could have. I don't know. I don't know how many times it came through NPKI, but that's what I'm saying, guys. I think this little compare count window is awesome in the first half hour. Seems to establish direction fairly quickly. Was a big sigh. I guess it wasn't that important, William. All right, guys. NPKI. Let's take a look a little harder. Well, again, to me, just got too much potential support. Not that far away. Yeah. So I got about 20 minutes left, guys. So I mean, if you have any questions, good time to ask them. I'm sure I'm not going to do anything now. And I haven't even looked. I haven't even looked at the races. I've just been concentrating on this compare count. I'm gonna bring. I made some before. I want to see what other ones I made. This is a long time ago. See, this is what I was saying. It looks like I made them for every major sector. Yeah, I did. Looks like it. So, let's take a look at energy just out of curiosity. Well, these are going to be energy plays up versus energy plays down. Energy meaning XLE, okay? Whatever's in XLE. So you can, if you want to, you can just do a compare count using a sector. Takes a while for it to warm up, I guess. Well, the other thing is stocks in XLE either have to be making a new high or a new low. Yeah. Well, that's a dud. Maybe I'll try another compare count window. And only because, it requires a new high or a new low of the day. Okay, earnings plays up versus earnings plays down. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to take off now that William remembers this question. So I'm going to take off, okay? Let's see, Shorty. Shady is shorting ACI. Yeah, I got some room. Next low looking left, 1686. A great Halloween. Okay. I have one TI chart. If I click on it and manually enter a symbol, it will start flashing. So you're talking about, so if I manually enter MSFT, Microsoft here, so it doesn't flash. So you're saying it would flash? It's not a feature. You saw what I did, right? So you're saying if I type in a symbol without click without clicking on a symbol, it does not flash for me. Hmm. I don't think it's a feature, and but I can't call it a bug because I cannot duplicate that. I don't think, and there's no option. There's no option in here. Properties. Oh, you mean so you've got like a chart that covers two monitors? Well, let me do the same. Nope. So my chart is covering two monitors, and I just typed in a symbol, did not flash. Yeah, it's something in your system, unless other people tell me the same. Well, you saw what I did. It didn't certainly did not happen for me. At least you asked. Yes. Why do you have a chart spanning 2 monitors, just out of curiosity? Why so if it doesn't span 2 monitors, it won't do it? But if it doesn't span 2 monitors, it doesn't do the flashing? If it's just, like, on 1 monitor, it will not flash, but only when you spans a couple of monitors, it flashes? How much room does Ben F, okay? Well, okay. The first thing is that, I'm really not one to well, okay, how much room does it have? Okay, if you look at the daily chart, I mean, 93 cents is the next high. So in theory, that's how much room it has. And then you got a dollar three and a dollar 12. Obviously, you're probably looking at this area up here at 156, but it's got to get through these. So I don't trade stocks under a dollar, number one. Okay. But if I were looking at it, it would have to take out probably 104 at least. Get over a dollar because there are a lot of people like me who won't trade stocks under a dollar, I suppose, and they wait for that. But right now, I mean, theoretically, if this were any other price stock, I'd be looking left and saying, "Well, it's too close. That's too close. That's too close." If that were the next high looking left, yeah, it'd be great. I mean, it's having a great day, but remember what happened. What happened this day? It got up to actually it didn't close too badly. I think didn't they do a financing or something maybe? Or they had to regain compliance with so it got up I mean, that wasn't a bad day because it got up to 156 and it closed here at about 150. So that's not a bad day at all. It was the next few days that it just collapsed. So it doesn't give you a lot of confidence, in my opinion. But yesterday it said, or after hours, it said they regained compliance. So I guess that's the reason for the little pop. Normally, though, they have to be over a dollar. So Pepe says it sounds like a rendering issue. I see. Well, maybe it does have something to do with you're linking with what Fidelity or E Trade. Okay. Well, so Noma just resumed. I guess it was halted on the way down, just resumed. Get rid of that monochrome monitor. The old CRTs. Great resolution. Hmm. Interesting. Because obviously I'm linked. I never have that issue. Must be the linking. Is it with what if you delete one of the links? Yeah, with TradingView. So delete TradingView and see what happens. Or is that what you did? Or did you delete both the links, E-Trade and TradingView? You did. Okay, well try linking with E-Trade and see if it happens. Then obviously it's TradingView. So it's TradingView that's, are you using the web-based version or, the downloadable app? I used to have TradingView. I was always using I believe the app. Never had a problem. That's why everybody should have interactive brokers. No problem. Well, I know I saw this a long time ago, earlier today, GDYN. Ah, I see. So it's one or the other. You just can't have both. Okay. Well, let me link to something else. Okay. Not sure what I can link to. Just give me a moment. I'm going to try to link to something else and see if that happens to me. No thing. I don't know if I can link to it though. Yeah, I can't link. Yeah. So you're talking about the desktop version of, are you talking about the latest version, Rick? Oh, wait a minute. You're talking desktop version of TradingView. Okay. Can I go over the money making machine that is available for premium users? I can go over it. I don't use it, but I can go over it. I can't use it because I'd have to follow. Probably aware you have to watch it all day long. So, but I can bring it up and see what it looks like. Yeah. So these are trades I took like weeks ago, probably. I mean, obviously you'd be out of them, but let me just flatten them, get rid of them all. I'm sure I'm going to get an error message when I do this. No, I didn't get one. Okay. So what do you want to know exactly? Okay. I mean, you start off by money machine settings, and you can pick, we've got some strategies in here. You can pick one. Ultimately, the best use of it will be to develop your own. But I'll pick. I know Steve likes this one. Well, let's get one that might have some. Well, this is kind of ugly looking. And start it. Okay. Yeah, there's the error message. You guys will not get it. So you understand the idea behind it, right? It'll take the first three in this tree map and automatically trade them. That I don't know. What is the configuration on the? Let me ask, see if somebody knows. I don't know what it is. Just give me a moment, okay? So I've asked a question. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Okay, I just want to see if anybody answers. I'm not sure it's available, but let me. I've asked the question. Chris is going to answer right now. I know they're trying to come up with some configurations for people, but also, you know, anybody's going to do it. They probably want to have their own configuration and test it, get comfortable with it. I would not want to rely on somebody else's configuration. Not if I'm going to spend, the money that if and when it becomes usable in with a broker. And again, the reason I can't use it, Aram, is because I would have to stare at it all day long and get in and out of trades. Ah, okay. Well, there you go. Doesn't have an actual scan behind it. I can't remember what explanation. I just know there's no actual scan. That was an answer from one of the traders. Okay, so there is no. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Sorry, I cannot be more helpful. Now, if you want to get more in detail, you can always go trade info at trade-ideas.com. But I think that I just got that from Chris. He probably knows more about it than anybody. But that was his answer. So he's further answering me. There is some explanation, just don't know it off the top of my head. He's going to try to dig it up. Okay. But if I leave, okay, Aram, if I leave, well, it's 2 o'clock now. I'm getting set to leave. You can always, go info at trade-ideas.com. Well, okay. Forget what I put. I definitely have to get out of here. So here is the email address to use, info at trade-ideas.com. And you can ask that question also, okay? man. Spelled it wrong again. Okay. Okay. info@trade-ideas.com. Well, I don't get the answer before I leave. That's what I would do. Just general email and just ask the same question. Okay, guys. Well, I think I'm going to be taking off unless there's some more questions. I will hang around for questions, but if not, I'll just start my little spiel and thank everybody for all the help all week long. Always appreciated. The main room will open. Okay, so this is for YouTubers. Okay, so the main room will open Monday morning at 6:45 Eastern time. This being the main room. So those of you on YouTube, if you still want to hang out in a trading room, you can click on my homepage link and scroll down, and here it is, the trading room. It's free also. Okay. So this room will be open at about 6:45 Eastern time, and I'll open YouTube at about sometime between 8:30 and 8:40 Eastern time, and get on the mic at 9 o'clock for both rooms. Okay. And when I leave the main room, that room will still be open for another hour and a half. William will keep the main room open till about 3:30. So that's why I'm saying if you want to come over, just click on the more info, and you can see how you can log into the trading room. Okay. That's for people in YouTube. Yeah, I don't see Chris answering me now. So, okay, guys, I'm going to mute myself now in the main room and stop the screen sharing. And I'll leave YouTube open just a little bit longer, just in case Chris does answer me. Yeah, I don't see. So again, all I would do then is just go to email us info@trade-ideas.com. Okay, and see if somebody else has an explanation about what you're seeing on the homepage. Okay. Okay, so YouTubers, I'm ending the stream.